Now here in Job 30, continuing Job's conversation with his friends, last chapter he reminisced about the good old days of how good things were for him and all the great things he did to help people out. Now we're going to get the other side of that coin in chapter 30 today. Verse 1, but now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. Yet whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished? For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in former time, desolate and waste, who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. They were driven forth from among men, they cried after them as after a thief. So these are talking about people who were basically men, an older group of people who basically didn't do well, and now they have children who are spoiled, who are struggling. Basically, that's what it's talking about. These are people that he says the younger generation dislikes Job because their parents treated them poorly. These are parents that he wouldn't even give them the opportunities he wouldn't give them responsibility to do things, to manage his own flock or to do things, because they're just slothful people, wicked, lazy, those types of people, basically. He says, even for want and famine, they were solitary. They don't really work hard. Verse 5, they were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in caves of the earth, and in the rocks. Among the bushes they brayed, under the nettles they were gathered together. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. And now I am their song, yea, I am their byword. They abhor me, they flee far from me, and spare not to spit in my face. So this is a generation of people who were raised by people who had gotten lazy in their faith, lazy in their work ethic, and now their children are raised up and they are very judgmental people. They're accusing Job. If Job had his power and his might, they would have avoided Job, but now he's the punching bag for them. They love picking on him, basically, or casting that judgment on him. So verse 12, on my right hand rise the youth, they push away my feet, they raise up against me the ways of their destruction. They mar my path, they set forth my calamity, they have no helper. They came upon me as a wide breaking in of waters. In the desolation they rolled themselves upon me. Terrors are turned upon me, they pursue my soul as the wind, and my welfare passeth away as a cloud. So he's kind of the punching bag for the generation. They harass him and tease him and bully him because they can. He used to be mighty and now he's fallen. And so that's an opportunity to take advantage of them. Let's see, verse 16. Oh, sorry. No, verse 16 is right. Now my soul is poured out upon me. The days of affliction have taken hold upon me. My bones are pierced in me in the night season, and my sinews take no rest. By the great force of my disease is my garment changed. It bindeth me about as the collar of my coat. He hath cast me into the mire, and I am become like dust and ashes. I cry unto thee, and thou dost not hear me. I stand up, and thou regardest me not. Thou art become cruel to me. With thy strong hand thou opposest thyself against me. Thou liftest me up to the wind. Thou causest me to ride upon it, and dissolvest my substance. For I know that thou wilt bring me to death, and to the house appointed for all living. Howbeit he will not stretch out his hand to the grave, though they cry in his destruction. Did not I weep for him that was in trouble? Was not my soul grieved for the poor? When I looked for good, then evil came unto me, and when I waited for light, there came darkness. So I'm going to pause here for just a second to go over this a little more. He's talking to someone right now in this part of it, and what it is he's talking to God. He's saying, God, I have done things. I've been kind and nice to people. I'm getting harassed and picked on. The people down here judge me and think I'm just wicked and evil, and so they avoid me and don't want to help me. It's like, oh, you're in your position of your own efforts. You are there because of what you have done. God is punishing you. I should hate you too, basically. A justification for hating him. And he's like, God, why are you letting this happen? Why is all this going on with me? It feels like even God is against him, basically. Let's see, verse 25. Oh no, I read those ones. Sorry. Verse 27. My bowels boiled and rested not. The days of affliction prevented me. I went mourning without the sun. I stood up and I cried in the congregation. I am a brother to dragons and a companion to owls. My skin is black upon me, my bones are burned with heat. My harp is also turned to mourning, and my organ into the voice of them that weep. So he's like, I've got severe sickness, my skin is bad, my physical body is just destroyed, but I'm not dead. I'm I'm not dead. No one will talk to me, no one will like me. They all judge me and they all misjudge me, basically. And he spends his time in mourning, in sadness of why is this happening to me? Why me? What's going on here, basically? So, pretty low spot for Job. But I mean, you got to admit, this is going to be a hard situation to go through. I, I don't know if you've had a major time, probably not quite as bad as Job, but something to think about of what would have been like to be like Job. If you want to put in the comments, that would be great. So let's jump over to chapter 31 as Job is continuing this dialogue of what is going on as he's explaining his emotions and his situation to us.